Hi my dear parents, my name is Piolo Nduga and welcome to Lightfield Academy. And in this video, I would like us to look at some of the soft skills or skills that our children need. And these skills, unfortunately, most of them are not being taught in school. So let's rather start looking at these skills and start making sure that our children start to get this knowledge, start to learn this type of skills. The very first one here is basically communication. And communication is basically being divided into three parts. One will probably be surprised that 7% only comes from the words that we use, and then 8% is the tone that you use, and 55% is basically the body language. So this is something that sometimes if you look at other people when they talk, like right now I'm actually trying to speak English. I am Mosotho. And even Sesotho Saga, sometimes when I speak Sotho, I mix with English because I'm so used to speaking this English, even though it's hard in Hula, but to show that people understand a little bit of words, most of the time they do understand, even if I speak, alright, my broken English or my broken South Sotho, because sometimes you struggle with both, because now we are in that generation where you don't stick to one language forever like other aiming like other countries. This is South Africa. We speak 11 official languages. I usually get the sort of jealousy of those people who can fluently speak 11 languages. But something that we can sort of encourage our children to say, this is South Africa. The more languages you learn, the better. Okay, and then tone also play a very important role, because if I speak in a sense that maybe my tone is a little bit maybe something similar to this, I am talking to you, that on its own will probably fall asleep. So the tone, very, very important, and the body language as well. Non-verbal communication usually says action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words, and this is something that we see. If somebody goes somewhere, or maybe when somebody is approaching, you can already tell if the person is probably in a bad mood or having a tough day, or if they are excited and they are happy because of the body language. All right, that is communication. Very, very important, because communication as a soft skill. This is something that your qualification or your degrees or whatever that we have in terms of the paper can sort of open the door for you to come in an interview. But once you are in an interview, now is the communication that plays the role. Now is the communication that will actually help you to land a job. So there's a lot about communication that we have to start teaching our children, but it's a soft skill. It's quite big. Maybe one day I'll have to create a video talking specifically about communication and its elements, because it's very, very important. I just touched on the three right now. Very, very important. Okay, and then other things that comes with communication is active listening, persuasion and negotiation, non-verbal communication, which as I spoke about right now, public speaking. You can even build a career on public speaking. I'm sure you probably know quite a few people that are making money from public speaking. That means communication. Written communication, very, very also important. In fact, with the power of technology right now, I'm thinking that it has never been easy to write stuff than it is right now. If you want to write a blog, if you want to write articles, it has never been easy. Even writing a book with the power of technology, the power of AI, some people can take, it used to take long for people to write books, but with the power of AI, the writing part is easy. Once you've got an idea of whatever that you want to write a book about. My book here, The Path to Light, as you can see, it took me about 2 years to write this book. But I'm sure then, if the technology was available, the things that are available right now, the resources, it could have been, maybe I could have taken far less time to write this book than I took in those years around 20. I think it was 2020. Okay, and then the next one, teamwork. Working with people is also a soft skill. It's something that you don't actually learn from school, but you have to sort of understand yourself, know that your strength, understand other people. But it's also very important that you can adapt, because in a working environment, if somehow our children has to sort of adapt to certain environments, maybe they are so used to working alone, but working as a team is also, there's a lot of power. In fact, most of companies, they encourage a teamwork, because you can't be doing things on your own, especially when you are in a working environment, because you've got a lot of other people. They have to have a team. Sometimes, even if you don't like them, but you must work with them. So the sooner you start learning on how to work as a team and how to adapt in a environment where there's a lot of other people, the sooner. This is something that we must also make our children to be aware of. Even in the house, maybe if you've got a big family, sort of create some tasks for them to do, and then monitor how they work as a team, or do they prefer to work alone. But it's very important that they can adapt to that. Okay, then adaptability, as I spoke about it now, adapting to situations, very, very important. This is another soft skill, very, very important, that we will teach our children to adapt. Right now, we've got major problem of our adults, people who are, especially in the education space, where our teachers and schools and the management, the school management has to adapt with the changes that are coming with technology. But I see that thing is not happening as efficient as it's supposed to. It's not happening that I think we've got a serious gap there. But we need to start adapting, because the sooner we adapt, the better. So this is also a soft skill. This is something that it's not been taught in school. If it's been taught, I would like to know which school is that, so that I can take my children to that school. Things like problem solving, how to solve problems, very, very important. We always talk about problems, but we don't find ways. In fact, we did not train, our mind is not trained in such a way that we come up with ideas. Creativity and innovation, very, very important. Yes, the next point is creativity, coming up with new and useful ideas, and innovation, just spoke about it now, successfully implementing those ideas. So creativity is that, coming up with those ideas, and innovation simply means implementing those ideas. So those two things, they work together, because an idea remains an idea if it's not being implemented. All right, and then the second part here, these are some of the important soft skills that could change it all for our children. All right, and examples of some of these things that I'm talking about right now, because they are needed for accelerating our career path, or in fact for accelerating their career path, so that they become successful. The other one, first one, if you look at, I've got a short list here. Part of it is excellent and authentic work ethic. Authentic work ethic, becoming original, being yourself, being original to yourself. Don't lie, by not trying to be somebody else. Organizing stuff, very, very important that we learn how to organize things very well. Leadership skills, very, very important. I spoke about it in one of the previous videos. Analyzing, being able to sort of get logic from stuff, and then analyze, and then come up with decisions. People management, managing people, and this one comes from not only managing other people, but managing yourself as well, making sure that you stick to your plans, you stick to your rules, you stick to your routine, the things that you decided that you are going to do, you stick to that. That comes with, again, that is self-discipline, disciplining yourself to making sure that you do the things that you said you were going to do. Right? Project management, making sure that you stick to the time frames of the project that you've set, and making sure that if you've got a project, you stick to it, and then you abide by your own rules, because unfortunately most of the time we break our own rules. We procrastinate because we keep on saying we'll do it tomorrow, and eventually we don't even do what we said we'll be doing. All right, time and priority management, very, very important. These are some of the soft skills that I'm sure on the previous videos you probably heard me talking about soft skills. These are things that I'm talking about. Persuasion. Unfortunately, by default, you get people persuading you negatively or positively. We live in a world full of influence, but unfortunately, it's usually, most of the time, it's negative influence. So if you are not clear on the things that you want, to achieve, you always get people influence you negatively. But that's something that we must also make sure that we understand that it's there and it's affecting our lives. It's also going to affect our children, and it's affecting them. things like peer pressure. They already have a pressure from their peers where one of their friends will suggest that they do something, maybe it's something that they don't want to do, or something that they don't feel comfortable in doing, but eventually they ended up doing because they want to please their friend. Okay, that's something that to also take note. These are the soft skills. Sales and marketing. Luckily marketing, these are things that I think we can get courses and even some educational institutions that are providing these ones. But it's very, very important, because even if you had to be taught in the theory part, but the practical part of sales and marketing relies on you, how to implement these things. Very, very important, because it's part of persuasion and influencing. And then critical thinking. Critical thinking is very, very important. I think this will be the last slide, talking about creative thinking. Let me just check. Yes. This comes after something that we call high cognitive skills. These are the core skills the brain uses to take incoming information. Very, very important to understand this thing. High cognitive skills, the information that comes into our brain, how do we store the information and the knowledge that we use every day, maybe in school, maybe the working environment, at the workplace, or life in general. This is now basically how you do your stuff, how you collect information, how you store information, how you analyze information, how you act from that information. Because remember, in the previous video I spoke about input and output. Maybe you must go and check those other videos, because these are some of the things that I talk about there. Thinking, very important. This is part of high cognitive skills. Reading, we need to encourage our children to use their brain well, to encourage them to start applying their thinking properly, to learn how to think. Unfortunately, we live in an environment where our children are being taught what to think rather than how to think. So that is very, very important to take note of. Reading, we do know some of our children have got challenges in reading, but we must encourage. In fact, we must encourage them to read regularly. There was a video that I saw not long ago talking about our children. In fact, their reading ability is very lower than expected. Maybe you can watch that. I think I saw it on one of the news. Very, very disturbing in terms of very, very worrying that the stats are showing that especially our black children, that reading still remains a problem. Okay, learning. I always talk about learning. I just created a video talking about continuous learning. Go and look at that video. Very, very important. Remembering stuff. Logic reasoning. These are things that we have to sort of practice. We become better by practicing these things. Paying attention. Sometimes you talk to somebody, but you can clearly tell from the moment they look at you that they are not listening. Our thoughts are, there's too many thoughts entering our brain every second. So it's difficult to pay attention, even when you are talking to somebody close to you. Sometimes you talk to somebody, but you can see already they are losing attention. So our attention span becomes, especially with the power of social media. With the social media happening right now, people are always on their phones, so they don't even pay attention. We live in the days where you'll be having a dinner with your partner, with somebody, but you can clearly see the body is there, but the mind it's outside the world because they are on social media. Listening attentively, very, very important. Listening when people are talking to you. These, my parents, are very, very important. These are not other things that we must encourage our children to learn. Okay, I hope you got some value. I didn't want this video to be long, but I hope you got value from this video. And please share this video with your peers, with your associates, with your friends, with other parents. And most importantly, share it with our children, your child, so that they understand, they know that the things called soft skills, which are very, very important, because I keep on saying, if you can combine hard skills, those qualifications that they've got, and soft skills, then we are building a brighter future for our children, because now leadership comes from people who are able to apply more of the soft skills combined with the hard skills. All right, I hope you got value, and then please remember to put your comments, please remember to put your opinions based on the topics that I'm talking about. This is basically what Light for Youth Academy is all about, attending to the problems that are not being attended to maybe by our normal school, and our children need to know about the stuff. Okay, the sooner we teach them the stuff, the better, because our intention is to build a generation which is smart, which is which is successful, which can be our true leaders. We need leaders of tomorrow, and I believe our youth are the leaders of tomorrow. All right, until I see you on another video, my dear parents, cheers.